Do you have the courage to explore the woods by yourself? After watching this video, you might reconsider, as we'll delve into some captivating evidence. We'll discuss sightings and share intriguing stories about a legendary creature. From eerie nighttime howls to mysterious footprints and photos, these real encounters might just make you believe in the elusive Bigfoot. Lace up your hiking boots and join us on this adventure. The Hickory Bigfoot sighting. In August 2019, Hickory resident and Bigfoot hunter Doug Teague filmed what he claims was one of the clearest videos of a North Carolina Bigfoot ever seen. Doug was walking his dog, a crazy Daisy, through woods just outside of the city. He was checking some trail cams when he heard a loud knocking sound in the distance. As he got closer, he spotted an unrecognizable creature on top of a ridge and started to record it. Then followed the huge creature's footprints and took casts of them. Take a look.
He's still up here. Or something's up here. He's moving. He's moving, he's moving, he's moving. Daisy, come here. Daisy, come here. I want to do a quick little video here. Me and Crazy Daisy has followed these tracks. This is the best one of them. I'm going to try to cast it. Stepped on a limb. And it goes... Let's see. Here's one. Right here. Let's see. Here's another one. Right here. You can see a little bit where he smashed. See the toes. There's toes.
Doug claims as he approached the creature, it started throwing stones at him, not something a bear or any other animal would do. Later, the footprint casts were looked at by an anthropologist who thought that the prints belonged to a creature around 15 foot tall. Other experts agreed the footprints looked genuine. So, what do you think Duck saw? Could it really be a Bigfoot or just another elaborate hoax? Bigfoot sighting in San Gabriel, California 2020 and 2020. A hiker in the San Gabriel wilderness in California pulled out his camera to record the stunning landscape. But as he pans around, he spots something in the trees below and zooms in. The large creature appears to be about 10 to 15 feet. Although strangely it doesn't appear to move, the area is not usually known for Bigfoot sightings. However, in 2018, a woman walking in San Bernardino Mountains, located around 70 miles east of San Gabriel, claims he also spotted a sasquatch up in a tree. Here she is speaking about her experience. And before we continue watching, we will of course like this video. And I would like to remind you that you have a great opportunity to purchase these t-shirts on Amazon, thereby supporting our channel. There are various sizes and colors of this type of t-shirts. Thank you for your attention. We continue to watch.
10, 20 feet behind me, and as I turn around, I'm looking straight, and I see the creature on that tree. So what I do is I continue walking closer to try to tell myself, am I seeing a shadow, a tree scrum? At that point, I see his head turn, so I know that I'm not looking at a shadow. And this is where I stop, and this is where everything pretty much happened. This is where my daughter videotaped from your angle.
I swear to God. Mom?
I see it. Is it by the tree?
Yeah.
On the shoulder?
Yeah.
Whoop. I want to go home now. Did it move?
Could they be the same creature, or is there a more plausible explanation? What do you think? Famous explorer Eric Shipton, known for conquering many of the world's most inaccessible mountain peaks, told his own story about Bigfoot, or rather, about his supposed close relative Yeti. In 1951, Eric climbed Mount Everest, and while passing through the Pool of Moon Lounge Peak at an altitude of 19,000 feet above sea level, he claimed to have stumbled upon Bigfoot. A footprint 13 inches long in the snow, unmistakably similar to the footprint of a large monkey. He even took several pictures with his pickaxe to demonstrate the gigantic size of the prints. Apparently, the trail stretched for about a mile when they disappeared. Shipton was not lucky enough to see this creature with his own eyes during his journey through thick snow and rocks. But these strange traces of a humanoid beast in the snow have attracted the attention of the cryptozoological community for many years. Just imagine a Yeti living on an uninhabited Mount Everest. I think it's time to go. In 2015, a mushroom hunter got more than he bargained for whilst foraging any mushroom forest in northern Illinois. Take a look at this footage he uploaded to his YouTube channel, Tomorrow's Garden.
It's down there. It's got to be about 12 inches across. And this one looks like it has a bite out of it. And this one. And there's one over here. Looks like it's holding some water. Huh? I think it's time to go.
It all seems pretty legit, although someone pointed out at the time it sounded like it came from a movie. Weren't sure on this one. Although the mushroom hunter did do a follow-up video 6 years later, but this time nothing was heard. This one was featured on the History Channel. What do you make of it? Bigfoot is usually associated with rural mountainous areas in America. However, there have been several lesser-known sightings in the United Kingdom. And in 2021, Bigfoot enthusiast Lee Brickley says he found tracks and claw marks that prove an ape-like beast is living in the forests of Britain. He found the prints in Cannock Chase, Staffordshire, a 26-square-mile forest that for centuries has been plagued with paranormal activity and supernatural phenomena, from child spirits to UFOs and werewolves, as well as sightings of a Yeti-like creature dating back to the 1800s. Take a look at the photos Lee took of the prints. Lee claims they measured a terrifying 41 centimeters from toe to heel. Nearly twice the size of an average male footprint and far too large to be from any animal native to the UK. About a month after spotting the footprints, Lee found huge claw marks on a tree in the same area he sat close by, with a mutilated deer that was covered in bite marks and had his throat ripped out. Take a look at the claw marks. Reports of these sightings seem to have drastically increased in numbers since the beginning of 2019, with many believing there is some unknown creature roaming the forest of Cannock Chase. Perhaps we'll have to take a trip down and see for ourselves. In 2013, 3 Russian school children claimed to have filmed a Yeti in the trees in the Carnarvon region of southern Siberia. The blurred footage taken on one of the boys' mobile phones shows them following giant footprints in the snow. As they get closer to the bushes, they see a figure about 15 meters in front of them. Take a look.
Пошли нахуй отсюда. Пошли, пошли. Пошли. Да ну нафиг, пошли. Кирилл, жди! Кирилл!
It appeared to notice them as well and moved sharply before running off. The boys, who appeared shocked, ran in the opposite direction. My experts reviewed the footage and believed it was genuine. However, whether the figure was a Yeti or there was a more plausible explanation has never been confirmed. What do you think? North Carolina Bigfoot light cryptid captured on game cam. Purported to be Dogman. North Carolina game camera image purported Dogman. Could it be Bigfoot, skunk ape, or something entirely different? We ran across this image and tracked down what looks like to be the oldest post by Joey on Reddit. There is a caption stating Dogman caught on trail cam in North Carolina last night. The subject appears to be a real animal creature with muscle definition. I'll enlarge the image 150%, then 200, and finish at 300, where the subject completely fills the frame. Where is its head? It must be looking down. The thighs on this thing look very powerful and thick, and look at the muscles on the back of the upper arm. Thick and powerful looking. Also, the front legs or arms look extremely long, or perhaps it's holding something out in front of it. Crazy, weird, and strange. I don't think this is a bear because of what looks like a reversed hinge joint often seen in other animals like wolves, coyotes, and deer. because it's leaning forward with its head completely down as if it's looking at the ground. Perhaps this creature is up on its toes and what looks like a reverse hinge joint is actually the heel of a large foot, and it's utilizing a mid-tarsal break. All kinds of speculation and more questions than answers. We will report back on this, if or when we find any answers that we have to what may have been captured on game camera in North Carolina. Keep on watching, we're going to keep on squatching. For a more recent sighting, this video footage was recorded by a man going by the name Eddie V, who submitted his finding to the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch organization in 2021. The actual footage comes from Eddie's cousin, who was kayaking down a stretch of the Cast River in Michigan in the short clip. A large humanoid figure, seemingly covered in a layer of light brown fur, can be seen carrying what appears to be an infant, which looks very similar to the mother creature. The footage was filmed from a safe distance, and as is the case with many alleged Bigfoot videos, is quite blurry. Still, a figure matching the description of Bigfoot can clearly be seen, crossing the river with a baby in its arms. Take a look. Welcome to the woods. UK is an avid wildlife enthusiast, survival specialist, and occasional researcher of British big cats. Despite his particular interest in this type of crypt, he may have accidentally captured the most famous of them. After the destruction of the shelter he was building, Woods viewed security camera footage to identify the culprit, suggesting that it was probably children, but instead one of the cameras captured an unidentified figure sneaking around the forest.
There's a figure at night time that's in the right hand side of, I believe it's camera 6. Starts off, comes out of the woodland, and then all of a sudden it seems to trigger the camera again and then come back out. That again happens about a week later on camera 4, but this time it's daytime and it's a bit more explainable. I mean, it looks to me like someone's in there poaching for the deer perhaps, or doing a bit of wildlife photography, but whoever it is shouldn't be there. They haven't got permission to be there. It's only me. I've phoned the landowner Chris. He swears blind that no one else should be in there. It's quite secure as well. I've never seen anyone in the 2 years that I know in there, even on any of the trail cams. Now,
while it seems likely that the figure is the person, many viewers are convinced that it's a big fat strangely. If it is a human, they do seem to be attempting to mimic the cryptid. After Woods set up a tent beside the collapsed shelter, he not only heard nearby footsteps but wood knocks. Four weeks after this, W set up a dummy camp to spy on from a distance with the hope that he would observe the perpetrator in action. Although he didn't anything of, he did record whooping, sounds and other behavior credited to Bigfoot.
I'll keep this light as low as I can, but it sounds like a woman shouting or screaming. Jesus. Jesus. The hell is that? What the hell is that?
Hearing all this, one has to question what the figure's motivation is if they are human. Why are they wasting their nights performing an elaborate rules to seemingly scare? This video is also in America. During the deer hunting season, one of the hunters made a video recording of a strange creature that looks like a huge monkey. The hunter himself says that he saw this for the first time, and experts studying this record said that it was authentic. This next piece of footage was captured in Idaho at the end of 2021, which was uploaded by YouTube user NVTV. The footage is unusually clear, showing a close-up encounter with what appears to be Bigfoot. The uploader of the video has commented on the level of detail captured in the body and fur of the creature in the footage, and the fact that his hulking monstrous size denotes an animal that simply can't be a man in a suit. In their words, the footage really is striking, as it's unusual to see an alleged Bigfoot so close to the camera. The figure really fills the screen, and you can get a good impression of the beast's size from the width of his body and shoulders. What do you think? This footage shows. This video was uploaded to YouTube by Mr. Man's account on February 12, 2022. The user indicated in the description that these shots were captured on a surveillance camera, but you can clearly see the creepy subject standing with his back to the camera in the center of the screen. A large muscular figure matching the classic description of a Bigfoot stands swaying in the night air before starting to stroll around the city. In the picture, he looks incredibly muscular and powerful, much more massive and larger than a human. These are certainly unusual shots, but what do you think about it? This is the first video recording of Bigfoot. It was made by Roger Patterson and Robert Himmler in 1964 in the state of California, USA. Let's go back to 1924, and now back to the disturbing incident that was reported in a narrow canyon on the eastern slope of Mount St. Helena. The area was originally known for its Bigfoot sightings, and researchers often went into the woods to try to see the tour that Harry organized after reports of strange noises in the woods. This curious story begins with the fact that in the summer of 1924, several gold miners ran out of the forest, claiming that they were attacked by a 7-foot-tall gorilla man in the forest. They were working when they saw 4 giant figures begin to move between the trees, claiming that they had erect pointed ears covered from head to toe with layers of thick black fur. Fred Beck, one of the prospectors who was horrified by what he saw, fired a rifle at one of the figures, causing one of the creatures to fall backwards off a cliff, presumably crashing to his death. Later that night, the men were awakened in their cabins by the sounds of screeching threads and banging on the walls of the hut. The sound of stones and falling bodies alarmed the men, who helplessly watched as one of the figures appeared earlier in the day, punched a hole in the wooden roof. According to the men, one of the stones possessed by the creatures was thrown at Beck, who was unconscious for more than 2 hours after he hit him. The men apparently managed to fight off the creatures, who fled when the sun rose. Beck woke up and the men fled to the nearest town telling their story, which we were able to find out. Look into this in more detail, but what do you think about it? This is an incredibly creepy sight Scott Yeoman posted at his home in Bailey, Colorado. A series of pictures that apparently show a large, hairy humanoid face appearing in his window. Scott heard a series of strange noises outside his building, and when he went to figure out what it was, he saw it first. Scott assumed it was a bear, but when he caught a glimpse of its face, he realized it wasn't, and ran to get a gun in case the creature tried to break in. But when he returned to the window, it was nowhere to be seen. What do you think is depicted in these photos, and what would you do if you were in Scott's place? A group of tourists noticed some movement among the trees. After looking closely, they thought it was a bear, but then realized that this was not the case. The creature looked more like a huge man covered with fur. Perhaps it was a Bigfoot.
Look. That's not human. It's not a human. The face is here at first, but no, it's not. That is not a human.
Oh my God.
Another story of the prospector, this time from the Canadian Albert Ostman, who in 1924 again claimed that he had a strange encounter in the forests of British Columbia. Albert came to these places on vacation. He was familiar with the wild places of North America and was a famous lumberjack who refused to believe the stories about the ape men, as reported throughout the region. This skepticism did not last long, however. One night, When Albert lay down in his sleeping bag, he claims that he woke up from being dragged along the ground and was still lying on his back, apparently terrified of something that he described as a Bigfoot dragging him through the forest for 3 hours. The beast eventually stopped and threw him in front of his family, 2 adults and 2 children. Albert claimed that the tallest of the creatures was 8 feet tall and covered with a thick layer of fur. Strangely, Albert claimed that the creatures held him captive and they looked after him. According to Albert, the Bigfoots fed him sweet-tasting grass, and despite the fact that he had a gun, Albert, for a total of 6 days until he finally managed to escape by drugging the animals with snuff, a type of smokeless tobacco. Albert did not try to shoot the animals, as they did not harm him, and he believed that they were peaceful. Albert kept his tale to himself for 24 years out of fear that he would be accused of insanity, until eventually he spoke to the local newspaper The Province, telling his story to the world in full in 1957. What do you think about Albert's story? A recent Bigfoot audio recording this video was published by NIVTV Bigfoot just a few weeks ago in June of 2022. The user claims that they left their camera running unattended in the woods of Georgia to see what they would capture, and this is what they heard. It's a relatively long clip, but the sounds of rustling foliage and the occasional whoop or screech can be heard behind the tree line. What do you think about this clip? Some of the vocalizations sound eerily human-like, but is this too much of a coincidence? Recently, a photo material Bigfoot appeared on the internet near the railway in the forest. This is a frame from the video camera of the locomotive. The author, for obvious reasons, wished to remain anonymous. In the frame, we see a huge hairy creature walking on the rails. Pay attention to his long arms, big shoulders, legs, and waist. This is a pretty mighty Bigfoot picture discussed by many. At the Smolensk seminar, they say the picture was checked and experts did not find a fake on it, so the photo is real. And if it's fake, then only with the costume. But is it fake?